Hey guys, so basically what this is the beginning of Smallville. And the reason I put this up is for no other reason than I said I think it's actually harder than Doomsday itself. So I essentially just wanted to show what the first part of Smallville actually is for those people that haven't done it yet. And if you have tried it and you've wiped a couple of times, then you might be able to see sort of what you do, I guess. And this isn't exactly the most pro run, but still a bit sloppy, but we do it. So essentially what you're doing is you're protecting the little sphere, or the circle. I don't know what's inside of it, I forget, with the shield above it. You're protecting it from the doom crazed giants, and they come in wave after wave after wave, and if one of them gets to the middle they destroy it, and then you have to restart basically, no matter how close they are to death or anything like that. So it can be pretty challenging if your group's DPS, and this is mainly a DPS race. If your group's DPS isn't high enough, then you might have, say, one like that getting really close to breaking it. But even when one gets that close with us, the DPS in this group was actually insane. This was probably one of the best groups I've been in for a hard alert, using the randomized tool in the game, and we totally tore through it. Everything was one-shotted. But with that said, as you can see, so that's the first part done. And mainly with the waves after waves, the big ones, they're pretty strong. They do quite a bit of damage if they hit you, but the best event obviously is to not let them hit you, and they go down fairly easily if you're all focusing them. Now the small guys that repeatedly spawn, they're pretty weak as well. They die really fast, and you can CC them really easily. I mean, like, he's been in the air for a while, but there's no real challenge in that. It's just that they keep coming and they keep coming, and they do like 500. They can do 500 per hit or something. So if you have enough of them and you don't kill them or CC them in some way, then they can overwhelm you while you're trying to take down the big guys, which isn't cool. If you do, say, do the first one and then you wipe on the second one, then you can keep starting from the second one, but you have to start from the first wave of each one. There you go. I mean, essentially there's a couple of here. I didn't think the DPS would be able to handle it, so you just CC two of them quickly, kill the big one, and then go back to them afterwards. Nothing really special. They spawn from 3 different points on each wave, so wave 1 they have 3 points they come from. It's just left, forward, and right, actually. The same thing with the third wave, which is probably the hardest one. And as you can see here, just plowing through it. And I'm not really too bothered about the group's power. I didn't even use my Psychic Empowerment, which is the main ability to regen power for a controller. I haven't been using that. I've just been giving them my basic stuff, which is like my telekinesis, and well, just my telekinesis actually. So what you do with these guys as a controller is I just throw Terrorize on the big guys to reduce their damage, and occasionally I'll be picking up a couple of the ads to just hurt them a little bit. But they're not exactly the fastest things. I mean, they're not like the Flash running at you, but they have a little bit of speed. If you get sidetracked, then you can easily lose track of where they're spawning, and maybe one will hit the middle, in which case your group will be like, what the hell, because you got to go through it all again, which is time consuming. And that's actually the reason this is on, like, I was gonna say 200%, but it's not. It's on 135%. Why 135%? I have no idea. I just sort of picked a random number and then threw it in, and it doesn't accept 9,000, so I mean, I didn't think you'd want to see it at 9,000 times speed. That was a terrible joke. I'm not going to do that again. So the second wave's down pretty easily, and the third wave is the hardest wave, and at the same time the easiest wave for some reason. So it has the most spawning at one time, but for some reason every group I've ever been in that struggled with wave 1 and 2 can do wave 3. I don't know why. Just something that sort of happens. Something that should be noted in this video, if anything's like you're noticing that my hold or my CC abilities are lasting longer, that the monster can take more damage. I do have, I think it's about 313 dominance when I shot this one, and I was in mainly blues and like some tier, like my shoulder is a tier, and that's why. Or if yours do more than mine, then you probably have more dominance, and that's the thing. The only 2 stats you really need as a controller are dominance and vitalization to help restore power, so it's not too complex. And the items even say controller on them, so it's not something you have to work out, oh, is this a controller item? No, it says controller on it. If it doesn't, then it's just a good item for everyone, and if it does, then it's just for really controllers. And you can only equip it if you're a controller, so that really narrows down the loot system. This group doesn't actually have a tank. I don't know if anyone had noticed that. It's just 2 DPS, and a controller and a healer, so we didn't really have anyone to tank the stuff. But luckily, we all have pretty decent gear, so if we did get hit, we'd survive it. And you know, if we did get hit, the healer was pretty good at keeping us up, so it wasn't too much worry on that front. As you can see in this wave, there's 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 coming at once. You got like 3 over there, and I think 1 or 4 over there, and like 1 on the side, just that we finished downing. And there you go. They're pretty much dead. So, and with that, what we basically did was split the DPS. So you know, if you've got multiple ones and they're really far away, don't focus on, say, the back one, because the front one could get there before you can kill them. If you just split the DPS, you can get them about halfway and then, you know, nuke them both down pretty fast. This is the boss, the first boss that you face in Smallville. I thought I'd throw him in as well because he's a pretty simple one, pretty fast one. And compared to the waves, he's actually probably easier. So I actually, because we don't have a tank, I actually end up tanking him. So I'm just sort of barrel rolling it away. Yeah, if you get the reference, thumbs up. But I'm just barrel rolling it repeatedly because he's going for me, because I guess I had the most aggro for a little bit in this, and I'm not a tank, so I can take maybe 4 hits or so, maybe 5. I'm gonna say 6 just to sound cool. Yeah, maybe 6 hits or so from him if I didn't get any heals. So not too hard. I mean, one thing you can do is if you don't have a tank and somebody's got a lot of aggro, so they've pulled him, literally just pulled him from everyone else, you can just hold shift and block most of his attacks. It won't reduce the damage to like nothing, but it'll keep him at 100 or 200, which is easily enough for the, you know, you just to stand there. You will lose aggro if you do that, but it's always a benefit. So you go, I'm just barrel rolling away. You ain't gonna catch me. And because I'm retarded, I seem to barrel roll into all the, you know, if you play WoW, you hear the things like the Wrath Babies and people like that who stand in the light orbs, or they stand in things that do damage. For some reason, I do that in DC Universe, and I roll in them. So there's like sandstorms on this fight which hurt you. I just like, yeah, I'll just roll into it, just take the 600-700 damage. But yeah, that's the first part of Smallville.